Welcome back to the I Did It First podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Riley.
And this week, our episode is prompted by a gem of a voicemail that Riley found. And I thought, oh my gosh, we have got to talk about this.
Yes.
This is the gift that keeps giving. And it prompted our discussion about icks.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about today. And this makes me so uncomfortable, even just being on the receiving end of it. But to preface, before I sound like a giant bitch, which, to be fair, I sort of am. But, disclaimer, the way this started, I will play the voicemail and we will get into it. But it's so uncomfortable. It's really bad.
Explain, first of all, with someone you were dating.
It was right after I'd broken up with Toothless. At that point, I was like, okay, well, I've never really gone on dates or just been in the dating scene.
This reminds me of something I learned where it's poor hiring decisions are made in times of desperation, and that applies to dating in this scenario.
100%. I was literally just trying to distract myself. And this is the first person that I started dating. And on paper, perfect.
Sure.
Now it may seem like I have it tight because he was 6'5", drove a white Bronco, mustache, in the fire services. So
yeah, it really
at least
does
I'm
feel
consistent.
Like
at least I'm consistent. But yes, he was the first person that I had started dating after Toothless, and there were so many just icks and red flags from the beginning that I was just like whatever, and I was entertaining because it was kind of entertaining. And he left this voicemail on my phone. Mind you, I was hanging out with him when he called me, and I was hanging out with him and his friends when he called me and left this voicemail. So he was extremely drunk.
First level right here. Grown man unaware of his surroundings.
Play it.
Hey Riley, I miss you. I know this is a voice message, but I hope you see it. We're just at Chronic right now, but I've been really thinking about you a lot, and it's just like, I know I fucked up earlier, but it's like, I really want to get back with you. And it's like, I really would like you to come down to this Christmas walk. We're having a really good time. And it's like, I can only think of a good time, better time with just you. And it's like, I'm having a good time, but only a better time would just be with you. So it's like, I really hope you can get back to me soon. And if not, maybe we can go get sushi later or something. And I would love for you to with you. Like, you're just such a sweet angel, and I would love to hang with you later. And I know you're feeling sick, but come on, we only live once, and I would love to see you later. Okay, bye.
I mean, it sounds nice. If you don't know the context, it sounds nice. Even when you replayed it, I was like, wow, is this kind of a real bitchy move? But
no, it's not.
Okay, the fact that you were together is what, how were you watching him on the phone?
Here's the thing.
Please explain.
And so I feel like we need to describe the ick. And according to the internet, the concept of the ick is a sudden feeling of repulsion towards a romantic interest due to specific behaviors. Whether they're good or bad behaviors, you label them and put them in this box that makes it icky. There are also levels to the ick.
Oh, yeah.
Superficial and deep.
Yeah.
And then there's, aside from that, you have icks that are red flags, icks that just make you uncomfortable, and then the icks that it's like, okay, maybe this is a trauma response and I have imposter syndrome, and that's why I feel like I should...
you can't respond in positive.
Yes.
You make it an ick
you
when
make
it's actually
it something
positive
else. We
behavior.
have to give something a nickname.
We have to label it. Come on.
This was the ick that just made me uncomfortable, and we had just started seeing each other. We were not exclusive, and this is what was really icky about it. The first date, I should have just never talked to him again because he starts trauma dumping on me about his high school girlfriend, and I'm like, what? Okay, what? I'm sorry. This occasion that he left the voicemail, we were at the CDM Christmas walk, and he was so fucked up. And I don't care. Do what you want. Party like a rock star. But you are 6'5". You are built like Buddy the Elf. If you go down, no one here can catch you. Like, we're fucked.
Like
Like,
a Christmas walk, we're talking like this isn't like out at a bar having a good time. This is like there's kids with hot cocoa. Like,
also, it's just an ick
read
because
the room.
you're a man and you're like being ditzy in public. Like, that's so just uncomfortable and that's not reassuring. And I was literally with him and he's calling me, like telling me to come down and hang out with them. And I was like, babes, let's take a beat. And it was, it just makes me, I really sound like a bitch, but it was just,
yeah, but I
so-
think wasn't this also after you realized he had done that? I think we already talked about this with that girl. So it's just like the level of like,
the
copycat
met-
paste state.
This we will go into in the next episode because I met this girl in San Diego and naturally we just exchanged Instagrams, and the only mutual follower that we had was one of our friends and this guy, and we put together that this guy was literally taking us to do the exact same things, going on the exact same dates, like to a T, taking us to go return stuff at downtown Disney. And
Well, that's why it makes this so cringy. I mean, I'm sure is this like a voicemail like routine he does? Like, I'm gonna act a fool, grovel, and then act like, and he's doing it to how many girls at the same time? Sorry.
that is really what got the ball that is really what got the ball rolling on this topic. So
Yeah.
superficially, what do you think are superficial icks for you?
Okay. We talk. I mean, like we could talk about like the butt crack showing,
Ugh.
like getting out of a car. Like there's a ton superficial ones could
Yeah.
go all day.
Well, go ahead.
Like the chasing a ping pong ball, or
Ew.
what's your favorite with the backpack?
Seeing a man run with a backpack,
Just watching it
and watching the backpack like clap against their back,
Like,
and
no.
the way they're holding the straps, I'm like. And here's the thing: I will also point out icks for girls
Oh, for
that
sure.
I've been guilty
Like,
of.
I love beer. Like the girls
The
that
girls
do
that are
that.
so, I'm like, okay, just drink your beer and shut up.
Shut
And it's a Michelob Ultra,
Yeah.
like, please, it's literally, or a Colorado water, like a Coors Light. Like, be so fucking for real. You don't like beer, you like attention.
You have to-
Or
yeah, the girls are like, oh my god, I wish I could eat like that, like, and just gain some weight. Like I wish I could do that.
or the girls that when you, and I'm guilty of this. I used to be. I try to be
Every
so
girl
conscious.
has this moment. Come on.
But when you're annoyed in the car with your boyfriend and the nonverbal body language, that's so icky.
like turn like a
That's
music
so-
video
Or when
looking
you
out
go,
the window.
period. Nope.
Or just overusing bad
Or
slang.
guys that go, bet. No. Or yeah. I'm like, you can't say yes.
Ugh. It's so bad.
It's also, too, an aesthetic Instagram feed for me. Like, when I see a guy that has an aesthetic Instagram feed, I'm like,
Or filters. Too many filters.
no, it's for the girls and the gays. Don't take that away from us. Don't, please. Or seeing his following and it looks like a sorority house, or it looks like he slays and is a professional blonde hair specialist. Like, no, let's not do that. That's not cute.
No. Or when you see those posts and you see that he liked under all these like those kind of posts, and
No.
you're going, okay, why is he showing up
No,
everywhere?
I think
on
that's the
these?
most considerate thing people can do, is just be so honest about who they are. And it's literally like, how animals in nature will just present these super colorful like feathers and stuff, and it's like a warning sign.
Yeah.
Sure. That's
Sure.
my warning sign.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
take
that
it.
would actually
I'll
work.
take a duck as a duck. On a deeper level.
There's so many. Like, I think a deeper level one that comes to mind is like being thirsty for friendships. Like when someone's not reciprocating that behavior, maybe they're just, I don't know, who knows what their reasons is. So, but you keep going, you buy them things, you do whatever like to win them as an adult. And that feels like,
I think too that kind of goes with putting friends above your relationship, because if you're more concerned with what your friends think, or what you're, to the point where it's now putting like a damper in your relationship, because it's like, okay, well, have you considered how I may feel? That is icky.
Yeah.
Or this shit pisses me off so much. And just let me be a hater. Like, when someone goes, well, I'm not defending them, but what do you mean? And then continues to go on and be like, well, they're just like that. That's
I
you
hate
fully
that.
defending them.
No one's just like that. Oh, but even like going back to the thirsty one, like it makes me think of a story of someone that I dated in high school. Mind you, this is a whole other episode because this person ended up being twice my age. So
Crazy
we'll
work.
unpack that because there is some serious
In the
concern.
60s, you could get away with a lot.
So I'm coming home. We were barely dating, and mind you, I see his car at the end of the driveway, and I apparently, by the time I get in the house, he's in the kitchen. He had been there. And again, this is going to make me sound like a total bitch because, oh my gosh, he was so nice. No, it was what he was trying to do. And it turned out because he wasn't a great person.
Yes.
So he was trying to win everyone around me. But in the kitchen, full on demolished, putting up cabinets for my parents.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know your middle name. Like, what is happening here?
It's just a lot.
And it was it was a lot of that. And that was an ick. That should have been a red flag, though, because it definitely presented to be. But the idea of like, oh, I've been here for 6 hours. We had to take them apart and just rebuilding them. Like, what the fuck is actually going on?
Ew.
It was ew. And the fact that he ended up being 34 when I was 17.
Is that not insane? That's
was crazy.
That's like some
Well,
joke.
it wasn't even that. He lied about even being 30. Like, I was like, oh, you're 20. Okay, this is how stupid 17 can be. I was like, oh, you're 22? Totally. And I even thought that was pushing the boundaries. But
She found his birth certificate in his closet, and he lied and said he had a twin. Okay, bitch, if
But
you had a twin, you still would be the same age. And those blonde roots run so
yeah,
deep.
it doesn't matter what color I dye it, guys.
It's like, oh my gosh, okay.
I was like, oh, okay, so that's your brother's.
I think an ick is not being assertive and like standing up for yourself.
Yes.
That's a deeper ick
Yes.
because I know situations where like I've gone out to eat with a guy and we've been overcharged and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, we'll go up and say something. He's like, no, I don't want to like make a scene. No, it's not making a scene. It's literally sticking up for yourself and getting your money back.
Yeah.
Or get the food or,
Something. I mean, that's happened to me as well, even with like medical bills and even just trying to deal with that or ask for help with it. And then it's like trying to get that person to call and they're like, no, we'll just pay it. And I'm like, we're not just going to pay like $1,500 because we don't want to confront them.
You're just uncomfortable.
I'm like,
sticking up
I don't
for
know
yourself.
this lady at the counter. We're not going out anytime soon. But it's just that. It's like the lack of assertiveness. Like, pull it together.
Weirdly specific icks. This walking downhill because your hips move. This goes for everyone. Walking downhill and your hips move like a dog and you have no control over your ass. And it's just and even as you try, you just like
I can't
you just
not,
have to mob
not
real
imagine
quick and
that
just
now.
serve face and or trying to flag down a waiter and getting completely ignored and be like, hey boss.
Anyone that uses boss, chief, any of those like very generic, that drives me crazy. Like
100%.
Okay. Actually, you want to know what's kind of a weird one too
Tell me.
that I just thought of?
Yes.
I like to address people like, oh, I know someone from work. Oh, I know someone from the gym. And ick is like the person that calls everyone a friend because it's okay to say that you don't know everyone on that level.
Yes.
Like, everyone's not your friend.
No.
And when
don't
I hear
give
that,
people
it
that
literally
privilege.
sends me for some reason.
Don't give that many
is a
people
privilege.
access to. Yes.
And so I'm that one I hear all the time. I'm like, they're not your friend.
So how I divided this icks and how they can be red flags. One way that an ick can be a red flag is like when your body's literally screaming at you and your nervous system is directly connected to your gut. And if you have a bad gut feeling,
Yeah,
you
but
need
that's
to
when we
pay
say,
attention.
was it butterflies?
Yeah, no. No. So
And the red flags are not a carnival.
no, and despite red being my favorite color, it's not cute when someone is treating me poorly. I was dating he who shall not be named. That was my most recent ex-boyfriend. And this is an ick that, like, even just saying it out loud gives me severe, like, discomfort. Discomfort's not even a strong enough word. We went to the bars. I met, like, very early into dating. I mean, not even weeks. We were not exclusive. I went over to his house because he was having friends over and friends that were visiting him from when he was in college. And he lived with a roommate. So we were all there and we were all under the impression that we were going out.
Was it the roommate I met?
Yes, that
Okay.
came to our house on St. Patrick's Day.
He was really cute though.
We were going out to the bars, and at this point I was already not drinking, and I didn't really care. I was already talking to someone. I was like, I'm not gonna go and show up and blow up at Malarkey's in Newport Beach. Like, I'm just gonna wear whatever. So I was wearing a gray, and I have to give context because it really helps paint a picture. I was wearing a gray hoodie and this like sweat skirt from Brandy Melville. It was
From Brandy, which means what was it, like this
no,
long?
no, it was not.
It was like a shoestring and a napkin.
Nope. It wasn't. It wasn't short. It was, but I didn't look cute. Like, I didn't have makeup on. My hair was just thrown up. I think I was literally wearing glasses.
Like
too.
not headed to a bar, kind of.
Not at all.
I
So,
don't remember this.
We're hanging out at his apartment, and his roommates and friends start like roughhousing with me, and they're just like being fucks. And honestly, I was just like, whatever, you guys are all cute, you can get away with it. And he in that moment was like, do not touch her. And I was like, oh my gosh, cute. It was not cute because it stemmed from a place of like him trying to assert some weird dominance, and he was very insecure. It wasn't
But you didn't think that at the time, did you?
No, well
Oh no.
he I think was trying to be like protective, but it was not.
My man.
So we went to the bar. Actually, we went to the bar, and very soon after getting there, he asks if I wanted to leave, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm just sitting in the corner of Malarkey's. I'm not drinking. Just getting bumped by sweaty people. Like, yeah, I'm good. So we go, and I drive his car back, and we're sitting outside of his apartment in his car. And he starts crying.
What is it with you and these guys crying?
I don't know.
Like
Especially when they're
crying.
drunk. I'm like, ew. And he's crying and just saying how he doesn't like how so many guys were looking at me, and how his
my gosh.
friends and roommates were messing around with me, and spins it to say it's because of what I was wearing.
No, he didn't.
And he's like, well, maybe if you just weren't wearing that, and maybe if you weren't interacting with them as much, being polite.
Like being social? You're like, don't talk to me.
Yeah,
you can't
what?
see me.
I mean, I was probably on like day 4 hair. It was so not a cute look. I was like, what? Granted, I still, of course, like, do you want to come up and hang out? I was like, yeah. And that's my own fault. But
That's
also too, actually,
so lame.
before we went out, this is another ick. We had to go to his parents' house to get his passport because
guys at a bar with a passport. I'm sorry, like
you're not Men in Black. Like, no.
And I get it. Maybe they lost it the day before, but it's never the case.
No, it had been weeks. It had been weeks.
Yeah, no, it's always someone who's like chronically irresponsible.
Extremely, yeah. It had been weeks since he lost his ID. And it was at someone's house, and I was like, why don't you just go get it? Yes.
Oh,
so we went to his parents' house. We went to his parents' house to get his passport so he could just end up like blacked out by the end of the night. And all of his friends, listen. All of his friends.
I love hearing this now.
All of his, because I honestly forget. I think my brain like blocks it out because it was just a traumatic.
Like, it's okay.
Time.
He's okay.
Yeah. You sounded like Elmo. But I was in the car with his roommate as he went inside to his parents' house because they hadn't seen his parents in a long time, and they just wanted to go.
Don't they live a mile away?
No, his friends that were visiting. Keep
Oh.
up.
Oh, yes.
And they went inside, and I was sitting with the room. And at this point, I had already known. This is what I mean. I set myself up for failure, and I take full accountability because I'd already known I was not into this.
I love this for you.
I know. Self-awareness. And I knew that I was not into this person. And I literally turned to his roommate, and I was like, do you ever wonder what would have happened if we would have met first?
You did not.
I swear on my life.
And then she's like,
no, ew. We never did. Never did. I swear on my life, we never did. But I mean, even from the
pause.
even from the first time I hung out with He Who Shall Not Be Named, when I watched it in their apartment and saw his roommate, I was like, why do I do this to myself?
Why does this always happen is the question. That's the second question I have. Why does this always happen to you?
It was very typical for a long time. where maybe that's my ick.
Maybe that is your ick.
Where I would like start talking to someone and then immediately be like, and start dating them and then be attracted to their friend.
Well, usually, honestly, too, it's like, oh, he's so funny. Oh, he's so this. It's always something else, too. But, in this case, there was so much more.
In this case, there was so much more. And I was just so over it because I'm like, you're so irresponsible and this is just so unattractive. But that is a deeper ick, too, just because... I'm sorry. Yeah, that irresponsibleness and just...
It's bad. And here's the thing. Like, there are certain things that I would think was the ick, and then it turns out they were just horribly terrible situations. Like, I told you I was living with someone, and he used to work for a celebrity.
Yes.
And the way that he would name drop all the time, at the time, like, in that moment, like, I'd hear it, and I was like, wow, that's kind of gross, but... At the same time, it's like, oh, that's really cool. Like, you kind of convince yourself. So maybe like what you did with He Shall Not Be Named. And I was like, I guess that's pretty cool. And then, but like 5 minutes would go by and I'd go, it just felt so uncomfortable.
Ew.
And then he ended up being a series of red flags too. I think I told you. I mean, he went and got married to someone while we were living together.
That's fucking...
Wah, wah, like so bad.
That's more than wah, wah. That's crazy.
I mean, the thing is, because he worked for this person.
Your lore is like insane.
He would honestly, and we'd been together now for some time. And so him having to up and leave within an hour was not shocking.
Yes.
It was like, okay, we got to go. We're going to Miami. Will's up in like an hour. I was like, okay, no problem. So that never shocked me. So when it came up that he was like, okay, we're going to leave. We're going to Las Vegas. There's, I don't know, studio out there. We're going to go do X, Y, Z. Did not think anything of it. Being a girl with intuition, I start looking through things like a few days later. And now, mind you, he came home. Everything was normal. How was your trip? Work was great. You know how it is. Like, also, too, his
new wife is probably like, why is my husband not coming home?
Where is he? So then I find out from his mom after finding a receipt to Tiffany, because I know I didn't get a fucking ring, that he basically went and got married to someone. He bought a ring, and then I was able to look on Clark County. Thank you so much, Clark County, Nevada, to verify it. And it was like, there were so many things along, but everything was his personality. It was an image, like constantly, I'm this, I'm that, I'm so great. There were so many things. That's where red flags, or I thought were icks, were red flags. And when you're in it, they're harder to see.
Yeah.
But
well, I think because
I know, it's crazy, right?
That's more than crazy. One last deep ick
Ugh.
that I just thought about. I hate to even say this because I was dating this TikToker for a summer, and he was actually very sweet.
He was.
I think he just also needs to heal from some things like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, I called that out pretty early. I said, I think he's got some serious... Everyone's got daddy issues, just to what degree. And it was something about playing football, and I was like, whoa, there is some darkness. And I'm just typical mom mode. I'm like, oh.
But he would always want to just hang out. That part was sweet. Like, he'd always want to be around our family.
It was really cute.
And
it wasn't.
I know. He had like anger issues.
Yeah.
And he was a chronic liar too. But actually, this is crazy. The 4th of July. The 4th of July.
Still saying he's adorable.
The 4th of July. I know.
He just needs to heal. God, what is
the 4th of July story? So
this was like a page out of my book. I got to be honest.
I know. This is crazy work. We were still seeing each other, but I think we both knew that, like, okay, we're kind of both on our way out. And I was talking to someone else at the time too, because we were not exclusive.
Right. And oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
Oh.
And this other guy that I was talking to was like super sweet. Remember, it was at my birthday party. He left flowers on my car, and he's like, when you get a chance, like, just go out. Like, I wanted to give you something special. And
is he the one that I said you'll never be first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he was a baseball player, and he was that was his first like love, truthfully.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, to each their own.
Yeah, but I know you, and that's not gonna work in your world.
No, I'm like, what do you mean?
Riley has to be first, second, and third. Yeah.
So I was talking to this other guy. His name was, we'll just call him Noah because I need to like differentiate right now. Noah invited me over to his house for 4th of July, and which is the day after my birthday. And I also had plans to hang out with this TikToker. The TikToker ended up getting in a fight. And I literally have this video getting in a fight.
Everyone has this video, Riley. I mean, you can't be a TikToker and get in a fight at a bar on the Strand in Newport and not have it all over the internet.
I'm like, that's icky. You're irresponsible, because I'm like, how are you?
The chronic
you
irresponsibility.
Have a large following. Like, people are sending you this video. So
and it was violent.
It was very violent. I was at this guy.
Like, it was hard. You're watching like this because honestly, I thought it was going to be.
And that is where his anger issues are. So I was at this guy Noah's house. This guy Noah's house, and I'm hanging out with him. This is very toxic of me, and I again take full responsibility. I was at this guy Noah's house, and the TikToker shows up to my parents' house. And they were having a party and like having people over. Takes my mom's phone, sends himself my location from my mom's phone. So he had my live location.
And then he tries to tell me, do not tell her I'm coming. And I'm like, bitch, of course the second you jump in your car, I'm going to say, okay, he's on the way.
Yeah.
Because I tried to act like, oh my gosh, she's just stuck there. I will go get her. And he's like, no, like honestly, down the street, practically yelling out his car window, no, I'll get her. It was kind of batshit.
I was hanging out with this guy, Noah, and I get multiple texts. My mom's blowing up my phone, and I'm like,
because I am now seeing he's like en route, and I mapped it. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like,
bitch, you have 8 minutes.
I was like, according to maps, at the speed limit, which he is not doing.
So I literally just start crying in front of this guy, Noah, and there was some real fear because I was like, how am I going to make all of this work right now?
You're right.
And I started crying. I was like, my brother just got in a fight with his parents. Like, I need to leave immediately. And I was like, I'm an Uber. And he's like, no, let me walk you out to your Uber. And I'm like, no. So I go and I'm like, I just got to leave right now. And he's like, no hug. He's like, where my hug at? All that. Like, super.
Where my hug at?
And I go and I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I got to leave like right now, like frantic. Mind you, at this point, it was literally just him and I hanging out at his house. So it's like.
Yeah, weren't you soaking wet? You went in the pool or something?
Yes.
Because I just remember trying to piece all this together.
Oh my gosh. And I borrowed Noah's clothes and I was wearing these like long Lululemon shorts. This
like clearly a man's outfit. This is no girl has this.
So
I
start to walk out. As I open the door, there's a man walking up to the door. It's the pizza delivery guy. The way my heart sank so quickly. The TikToker is literally less than a minute later pulls up and I get in the car. I'm just gaslighting the fuck out of him. And he's like, are those guys' clothes? And I look down and I go, you mean to tell me I bought men's Lululemon shorts?
No, you didn't.
So we get back to my house and I really do think he probably knew. I just convinced myself that he didn't know. And that is my own ick for trying to think I could pull something like that off. And just that lying and gaslighting. That's not cute. And
but he had the icks, like when it came, like his ick.
That should have been my first red flag because later is when we went to Bear Flag. And growing up in Orange County, Huntington Beach, like you literally know everyone. You really can't, like for it being such a large place, it's such a small town.
Yeah.
I went to Bear Flag with him and this kid that I went to high school with comes up to me and he's like, hey, Riley, gives me a hug. And I introduce him to said TikToker.
Oh, no.
And he like dabs him
up.
Oh,
yes, I remember.
We get in the car. This TikToker starts yelling at me and is like, I can't believe he would fucking come up to you when he saw I was with you. And I was like, I remember the last thing I ever said to him was, this says way more about you than it does about anyone else.
Yeah, but he also got pissed off because that girl asked you for a picture. I think that also set him off.
Whatever.
Because he 100% thought this girl was asking for your picture or his picture.
Yeah, this girl came up to me and was like, oh my gosh. And we both turned around and he's like expecting some girl to like pretty much just blow bubbles on it. And she's like, can I get a picture of your outfit? Like, you look so cute. And I was like, suck it, bitch.
That's what I mean. He felt embarrassed. So I think that was just like extra level of,
Whatever. Do you think you can come back from the ick?
I don't know. I honestly, Because I think of this couple. I knew a couple where I don't know if you remember, you were kind of young, but I was talking to the mom, and this is the first time I've really acknowledged the ick as a real problem. And she had decided that she was going to get divorced from her husband. You were friends with their daughter because
I know who you're talking about.
He's just a dork. And I was like, that can't be your reason. Like, I remember feeling so shocked. She's like, honestly, the things he does, like the way he plays games in the backyard, and like they seemed so lame and superficial at the time. And I was like, really? She's like, I cannot have sex with this man. She's like, every time I look at him, I feel physically ill. I'm like, you've been married 20 years. Crazy. Like, actually crazy. I don't know. So I always think of that situation when we've talked about this before coming back. I mean, I guess it just really depends on. I think the superficial shit ends up being like a cop out for deeper shit.
I was going to say that
real
too.
Feeling.
I think the ick is like a Chinese finger trap.
Yeah.
And the harder you pull, the stronger it gets. But I do think that when other shit is going on in a relationship, you end up leaving because of quote unquote icks, and you start to make up these superficial reasons.
Right. I don't think that
to give yourself a way out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it ends up seeming like trivial or kind of ridiculous, but there's always more. There's always deeper context for sure. I mean, even when it comes to little things, like all of a sudden, even just the way someone eats, like those are the little things. They'll start to just
piss you off. Yes.
Or like irrationally. But it's not just that. That's not the thing.
No, but that's like what you maybe just convince yourself is what it is, because the ick is a nicer way to break up and just be like, honestly.
Is it though?
I mean, you convince yourself it is. And I think I've been responsible for. I've literally stopped talking to people because I'm like, ew, they did this. But thinking back, I'm like, okay, no, I think them just being shady or not having good communication, like there were other things that led up to that moment.
I mean, I feel like sometimes the ick though, like admitting it or copying, it's like kind of embarrassing though, because it's like you said, it says a lot about yourself.
It does say a lot about yourself.
I personally would rather dig into something deeper than be like, no, it was the white puka shell necklace. And the way he talks to a crowd, like there's a camera there and he's constantly cheating out, like there's an audience. Like, no, it was the fact that he was a total womanizer. I mean, I'm going to go deeper. I'm not going to highlight myself.
Listener, I think at the end of the day, you need to listen to your gut and listen to your body, because your body and your gut will not lie to you. No. It's yourself that's lying to you, trying to make up reasons or excuses. And there are levels to the ick. So try to differentiate between the two. But I want to hear icks that you guys have had that, I mean, whether it's so stupid. Yeah. I mean, it's not
deep or just the surface. Like, tell me they didn't say thank you to their waiter or they didn't tip them. Like, I want to hear it all.
Oh my gosh, that happened to one of my best friends.
That actually makes me crazy, though.
And she's like, in that moment, and then him walking and getting coffee with her with no shoes. She's like, yeah, that's a no from me. We're
like,
not
you're
doing
not Jesus.
This.
Like, put the shoes on.
It's just, no, we're not doing it. But let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. And maybe we can read them, and I'm sure there are so many that we share with you guys. There could be a part 2 to this, for sure. I'm sure. Yeah. But all of our social media is I Did It First Pod. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram.
Yes.
Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening to the I Did It First podcast. I'm Riley.
I'm Anna.
And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.